Hello, Room 308, and welcome to Lesson 2 for Persuasive and Opinion Writing. Something that I was thinking about between Lesson 1 and Lesson 2 was how we often talk about in class how so much of our learning is based in the conversations that we're having. So right now I know that it's challenging because you might not have someone to sit and talk with in these turn and talk situations where we would normally talk to our writing partner and build off of each other and share out our opinions with the class and kind of grow together. I know it's hard, but I'm going to ask you to pause. I'm going to say, pause. And I would like you at that point to pause your video and either have that conversation, if it's with a sibling or a parent or a family member or a pet or just to yourself out loud. Really try to have those conversations, even if it's just in your head, because that's where the learning is really happening, right? So normally in class, I know our learning is a lot more, it flows. It's a lot more organic. It doesn't feel like such a script of do this, now that, now we're going to move here. But right now, I'm trying to be flexible with how I'm teaching just because this is a unique situation. So thank you for also being flexible with your learning. I'm very grateful, and I'm excited to see how this writing keeps going. So today, the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to reflect on yesterday's essay that we read. Okay? So I want you, in just a moment, you're going to pause, and I want you to think about two things. The first thing is, what do you remember about the author's opinion from yesterday? And the second thing is, who might the author be trying to convince, and why? Okay, so author's opinion, who are they trying to convince and why? Pause. Welcome back. Okay, thank you for talking or thinking very thoughtfully there. So in my opinion, I think that the author's opinion yesterday was to convince us that bugs are creepy. And I think that the author was probably aiming their essay towards someone who likes bugs, trying to change their mind, or maybe someone who's unsure about bugs and wants to convince them that their opinion is right. So there's a lot of different kinds of people who can read a persuasive essay, and the author will usually have an audience or a reader in mind while they're writing. So not everybody that reads the essay is necessarily going to agree or disagree. So just keep in mind when you're doing your writing or when you're thinking about writing, the types of people who will be reading, if that makes sense. Okay? So I'm going to read another piece for you today, another opinion essay. And this one is called Insects Are Amazing. So yesterday we read Bugs Are Creepy. Today we've got Insects Are Amazing. I don't like when people call insects bugs. That means that they bug them. Insects don't bug me. I actually think they're amazing. They're cool to watch, fun to play with, and interesting to learn about. Insects are very important because they help plants and animals. For example, ladybugs eat aphids. Aphids eat the flowers in your garden. If you want a healthy garden, leave those ladybugs alone. Also, when an animal or a plant dies, insects eat it to help break it down. If you don't want a lot of smelly dead animals around, let those insects do their work. Also, many animals eat insects. I bet you think birds are beautiful. If there were no bugs, many birds would die because they wouldn't have insects to eat. Insects are also cool to watch and learn about. They do all sorts of cool things. For instance, ants can carry 10 times their weight. In addition, ants and many other kinds of insects like bees can communicate without talking. They can tell each other where food is or where danger is by the way they move by leaving scents. Have you ever watched all the moths that fly to a light at night? Why do they do that? How come they don't run into each other? These are the kinds of questions that entomologists, people who study insects, ask and get to figure out. That, to me, sounds like a pretty cool job. Lastly, I don't see why insects are such a big deal since they don't usually bother people. Most insects live under rocks or in places that people don't always go. Most just want to be left alone. It seems to me that we should just leave them alone and let them do their work. When we do see them, we should just go study them and learn more about them. I hope you will think twice before you kill the next insect you see. That insect might be food for an animal, or it might be helping in some way that you don't know about yet. Maybe, if you think twice, you will even agree with me that insects are amazing. All right, now, what is this author's opinion? And how do you know? So I want you to not only think about what their opinion is, but try to reflect back on the words, or if you have a copy of this, you can pull a copy up on your computer from your parents' email. Try to cite your reasons, right? Find it in the text to be able to give an example to prove why you think you're right, if that makes sense, okay? Pause. And welcome back. So, like with the bugs are creepy piece, I say we think, because we've normally had a discussion about this at this point, but I can't tell if you actually have or not. I'm just counting on you. I think their opinion in the yesterday's essay was that the bugs are creepy and they want other people to think they're creepy. To contrast that today, my opinion is that they were writing that bugs are amazing and beautiful and wonderful, and they want the reader to agree with them. So I think their audience in that case might have been people who don't like bugs or insects, and they want them to change their mind. So I really wish that I could come up and have you guys write your different opinions and the different things that you want to write about. Normally that's what we would do right now. We would put everything up on the board and come up with our ideas and share and bounce thoughts off of each other. If you want, you can totally email me your examples and your ideas of what you want to write about. I will read them all, I will respond to them, and then I can include them in future lessons, because I'm still coming up with an idea for what I want to write about. But here are some possible opinions for persuasive essays. You could write about bugs being creepy. You could write about bugs being amazing. You could write that we should have more recess. You could write that basketball is the most exciting sport. You could write that watching a lot of TV is not healthy. You could write, just throwing this out there, that Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. You could write, if you're me maybe, that Tom Brady should not have left the Patriots and been traded to the Buccaneers. That's what I might be writing about. So today, what I want you to start with is trying to spend 5 more minutes minimum adding ideas of what you might want to write about. Then, just like yesterday, I want you to pick one, maybe the same one as yesterday, and add to it, or start a new one and write your opinion. Just start free flow writing. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about capitalization right now. Just try to let the words flow through and come up with your opinion and see where it takes you. That's my challenge for you today. All right. Thank you for tuning into lesson 2, and I will see you tomorrow for lesson 3. If you want to type all of these, how about this? If you're feeling like this would work for your family, if you log into your Office 365 and you create a new document, you can title it Persuasive or Opinion Writing, and you can actually write this, and I can see it in real time if you share it to me. So remember, all you have to do is you start a new document, you can name it the way that we've done before, just like we did with your nonfiction PowerPoints, and I want you to share it to me in the top right corner. Remember, you start to type in my email or my full name. Remember, it's Olivia, not Liv. So if you type that in and you share it to me, I can see your document, and I can read along and I can comment along as you go. I would love to do that. So if that's an option for you, that sounds great to me. I would love to actually get to read some of this writing in real time. Okay? All right. See you for lesson 3. Bye. Happy writing.